Welcome into the latest edition of Extra Time. We can promise you it probably won't be the longest edition of Extra Time because there is a snowstorm coming in Bristol, Connecticut.
Well, we're trying to beat it.
Yes. Julien Laurens is with us as well. Jules, just a warning that that's happening, so you know, answers concise would be much appreciated.
No problem.
Just kidding, Jules. Or am I?
No, but not really.
Who will finish higher in the Premier League? Okay, I'm coming to you, Ali, on this one.
Okay.
Spurs or Manchester United? And where?
Oh, man. Well, Manchester United right now are higher. I'm going to go with Manchester United higher than Spurs, but not much higher than where they are right now. Squarely mid-table. That'll be better than whatever Spurs do from here on out.
Question for Stevie. Who should Liverpool be more worried about? Manchester City or Arsenal?
Arsenal. Yeah, I think so. I think Arsenal. Yeah, I think Manchester City, even though they beat Ipswich 6-0 and they're back and they're back to the best and all this, there are cracks that need more than just a little plaster to cover up. So I don't see City challenging for the title. I think definitely Arsenal are Liverpool's biggest worry.
Look at you, former bricklayer Stevie Nicol.
Correct.
Yeah.
Apprentice.
Yes.
I was an apprentice.
So you didn't quite make it to.
Well, actually, no, I wasn't a bricklayer. I was a labourer.
Well, my bad, then, Stevie. I gave you more credit.
I was the worst labourer ever.
Okay.
I used to hide around corners and everywhere. I was absolutely hopeless.
All right.
Useless.
I would have loved
Never mind then.
I do have to give a little follow-up here. Jules, is he right? Man City or Arsenal? Who should Liverpool be more worried about?
Yeah, I think probably Arsenal in the league still, even with the gap at 6 points with that extra game to play for Liverpool. In the Champions League, maybe if City continue to get a little bit better and with the new signing arriving as well, I suspect that maybe in the Champions League later in the knockout stages, Liverpool will want to avoid them.
Jules, seeing as though we've got you, what's going on with Saliba right now?
It's only a muscular injury on Nicol, I think. It's less than 2 weeks, so he's going to miss the Dinamo Zagreb game in the Champions League, then Wolves the following weekend, and he might be back for Girona, might miss Girona in the Champions League, which is the last game on Wednesday 29th of Jan. After that, he should be back.
Stevie, did you ever get to meet Denis Law? Is there a feeling of fraternity among the former Scottish internationals where different generations can connect?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I did meet Denis a couple of times. In Scotland, Denis is like royalty. You know, when we talk about the best Scottish players of all time, Denis's name comes straight out the heart. And it's one of those, whenever you meet Denis, you don't stand to attention, but you hold yourself a different way. I mean, he's just absolute royalty in Scotland. What a fantastic footballer. What a great guy as well. You know, really humble. You know, not when you think of all the things he's done in the game and where the esteem that he's held in, not just from Scottish players, but around the world. What a guy, but what a player.
You said he was quite a quiet guy as well.
Yeah, well, he was talking. I was at a dinner. I was sat next to him at the top table, and he was telling me how nervous he gets before he's speaking, and he's sitting there like that, going, "Oh, I wish I was finished." But then once he got, like everyone else, once he got going, a bit like playing football. Before the ball's kicked, you're a bit nervous. But once the whistle goes, then they disappear. And he was the same with his after-dinner speech. He was funny, but nah, what a man.
Nice question that was. Okay, Ale, if a coach tells the world that you are the worst team in the history of the club, will you feel motivated to return to training the next day? This is obviously Amorim and Manchester United.
Well, it's not helpful. I'm not asking you to lie to me. We know that we're not very good. We know that we're struggling. But I don't really need my manager to tell the world that, look, man, what I got going on over here, that's really not going to help us. It's the worst team in the history of the club. It doesn't fill me with a whole lot of confidence if I'm a player. And as a player, you have to sort of read in between the lines and see through the message and understand that this is just a narrative and that he's just deflecting and making headlines and pointing the direction somewhere else. But still, the message remains that we're terrible. I don't think we need more reaffirmation from the manager to remind you that you're terrible.
Stevie's shaking his head.
Well, I'll tell you why I'm shaking my head, because my last season at the Revs, we weren't good. And We're having bad result. And there was one particular reporter kept asking me, why don't you make changes? And I couldn't turn around and say, well, because the changes I would make would be even worse than we are without the changes. I couldn't, but you can't say that. For him to come out and say that, you just can't do it. I mean, I don't know what he thinks the reaction of the players is going to be, but you just can't say it.
All right.
The one person that cannot lose faith of the players that you have to rely upon to deliver for you is the manager. If the manager loses faith, then everything else falls apart, because this is the person that is making the decisions. And if he doesn't think that you're capable of doing the job, what does that say about the rest of the group? If, as a manager, and Stevie would know this as a former manager himself, that sometimes you have to package the message. You
Sometimes you just got to lie.
Yes, you straight
just
up
lie.
Yes, you have to misrepresent the truth. You have to repackage the message. You have to present a different reality.
Yeah.
So you have to get the players buying into what you're selling, and you become a salesman of sorts. If you go on and tell the world that this is the worst Manchester United team in the history of the club, then how else are you going to sell the players on your ideas? It's very difficult to do.
If they don't believe anything that comes out of your mouth, you're done.
Yeah.
You've got to come up with something. Don't care whether it's stupid or not, but if you can get them to grasp it, when they go on the field, you've got to have something they can grasp onto, why they're there and what they're trying to do. Because without that, you're toast.
It's the hope that kills you, Stevie. All right, Stevie, Liverpool is first in the Champions League table and they will face a team from 12 to 24 who wins their playoff. Which big team from the second part of the table would you not want to face of the following? City, PSG, Bayern or Real Madrid?
Oh, what would I not want to? Well, I tell you who I would want to face. Sorry, Jules. PSG. Absolutely. No, you don't want anything to do with Real Madrid in the Champions League. Regardless of whether they're playing well at the time or not, you just don't want anything to do with Real Madrid in the Champions League. That would be my answer.
Okay. Jules, over or under 40 goals in all competitions for Kylian Mbappe by the end of the season? He's on 17 so far.
Yeah, 3 games in a row, isn't it? He's corner, yeah, and he spoke after the game this afternoon or today, saying that he felt really he can play like he does and himself and has adapted now. So I think he'll get to 40. I really do. I really think, and we said that in the summer too, and we knew the beginnings would be a bit slow because it's noisy, and I've explained on the show that I think he has taken it a little bit for granted that he would arrive and just everything would click straight away. That was never going to happen, but now I think he's on a roll and I think he would get to 40. Yeah.
Okay. Over or under, guys?
Yeah, well, 40 is possible.
Push. 40 is the number.
Okay.
I mean, he's got 18, so he's nearly halfway there, and he's been struggling a little bit.
Yeah, and now he's suddenly not looking.
Now
like
all of a
he's
sudden
struggling.
it looks like, and he's got another half. He's got at least another 30 games.
All right.
Yeah, I'm with Jules.
Jules,
Okay, over. I've been convinced.
Jules, at what price did Newcastle sell Isak at? 100+ million?
The problem is it's not so much how much they want to sell him for, because if the price is too high, nobody's going to come. And depending if they need money, at some point, if Isak wants to leave and they keeping that high price, he won't be happy either. So I think they have to be realistic. Right now, on the current market, with how much every club pretty much is just looking after their money and how much they spend, and we will never have again, I think, a transfer over 150 million. I really believe, or not for the next few years. So over 150, forget about it. Between 120 and 50, even that I think is really pushing. So I would say between 100 and 120. And again, I'm not so sure people would put 120 million euros on Isak. So maybe around the 100 million, which is already a lot of money and much more than what they paid for him.
Okay. Stevie, how do you feel about Nunez taking off his shirt yesterday after scoring the winner? You clearly didn't like Hendrick doing that.
Well, let me put it this way. You kind of, the more games you play and the more experience you get you get more leeway. Let me put it that way. You get more leeway. When you're 18 years of age and you're acting Bertie big time, no, I don't like that. That's not a good look. When you're on it, Núñez is an established international footballer. So when he takes it off, it's like, okay, I can. Number one, I don't understand anybody taking the shirt off to start with. I have no idea how anybody wants to do that. But as I say, there's a little leeway with established international footballers. But when you're 18 and you're acting like Bertie Big Spuds, no, I don't like that.
Here's where I find it unacceptable from Darwin Núñez's perspective. He was just coming back from suspension because of yellow card accumulation. And it's a guy who, because of his playing style, he will draw more yellow cards as the season goes on. So why, oh why, spend one of those by taking your jersey off? The other thing I would say is that, quite frankly, honestly and objectively, he should have been thrown out of the game because he should have gotten a second yellow card on the challenge late in that match. And so now you're talking, if indeed that had happened, while he scores big goals for Liverpool in that particular match, there's something to be said about, man, this guy takes one step forward, two steps back, because he would have then been suspended given the fact that he would have gotten a red card. And so that's where, if I'm Darwin Núñez, let's just go celebrate, be passionate, be excited, but don't spend a cheap yellow card because you're going to get more yellow cards doing other things on the field.
Just to end, we were watching the Real Madrid game today and the young boy came and got Kylian Mbappe's shirt off him. And Kylian Mbappe is obviously in fine form. Stevie looked at the screen and said, I don't think I ever looked like that. Which might be why Stevie wasn't taking it.
Give or take a few, but...
I mean, give or take a few, I'm sure.
Yeah, I was definitely a lot paler.
A few freckles.
I was a little whiter with some freckles dotted about.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Right.
Yeah, definitely.
Not so much the
Factor
ripple.
18.
There weren't too many ripples going on.
It's all going well for Kylian Mbappe right now, but Stevie never looked like that. All right, thank you so much for sending in your questions. We will be back, we hope, at least some of us, tomorrow, amidst the snowstorm.
Just not bold.
Do it all again.
I'm sorry, what are you looking at me when you say that?